everybody, my name is MangoPunch. I'm a Resident Evil 2 and 3 classic speedrunner. Today, obviously, I'm going to be doing RE3, which is definitely one of my favorite runs to watch. So hopefully it's a good time. There's a lot of RNG in this run, a lot of things that can go wrong, but also that just makes it that little bit more interesting. So I'll count us in. The timer actually starts when I take control of Jill. So timer will start in about right now. So the story is, after RE1, the STARS members escape from the Raccoon Mansion, the Spencer Mansion. 2 months later, they've been trying to convince everybody that there's a zombie virus and they need to, deal with it before it's too late, but nobody believed them. So now there's a zombie outbreak and Jill is trying to escape. So one of the good things about the PC version is you can skip cutscenes and doors, except for this one. There's a few cutscenes here and there that you can't skip. And of course, having one right at the start is kind of a pain because there's a big reset point pretty early on in the run. Two, actually. One of them dictates the entire route that you take throughout the run. And the other is just, well, I'll explain it when I get to it. It's the basement. For anybody who is familiar with this run, you know what I'm talking about. Watch any top runner and 90% of the stream is just going to be resetting on the basement. So first things first, we need to get out of this warehouse where Jill has held up. And she decided that no help is going to arrive, so we need to get out of here. So, yeah, door skipping is a really handy thing for the PC version, but there's a bit of a catch, because some doors you have to skip slow, depending on whether there's a music change between this room and the next room. If there's no change, you can just skip it quickly, but otherwise you have to wait like half a second before you can actually skip. Now here's the basement. We just sort of have to hope that the zombies let me through. Didn't get the shove on him. Now hopefully nobody's blocking me on the way out. Ooh, oh, alright, good. One bite in the whole basement, that's pretty good. I'll take that. So what I did at the start there, after they popped out of the room, was I exited the room and then came back in just to reset their position. Because otherwise they would all be stacked up on that staircase. So you leave the room, come back, and they'll be scattered out a bit more. So what I had to do there was get the lighter fluid. And I'm coming in here to get the actual lighter. But first we meet Brad, who is the helicopter pilot from the first game, who still don't understand why he just left them stranded in the mansion for so long, but nobody likes him. But he's going to get taken care of pretty quickly. And just dodge this guy. That guy's a little bit tricky, but you can sort of see from a couple of screens beforehand what he's going to do. Sometimes he can stand still, sometimes he'll be moving around in the alleyway. You gotta have to adapt really quickly as to what he's doing. Alright, so we're making our way to the Raccoon Police Department where we have our first sighting of Nemesis. There's a big bad bioweapon who has been sent to kill all the STARS members. You can see Brad dead on the ground there. He didn't do too well. You're going to choose to fight the monster and almost run into him. And then run into the station. So one thing that was introduced in RE3 was live selection. Which is every now and then you'll get a cutscene where you'll have an option to either do... sorry, 1 second. Gotta remember the codes. So you'll have an option to either, jump out a window, escape, or do something to deal with whatever situation is happening. Which makes things a bit interesting because it changes what happens throughout the rest of the game in a lot of places. So even though there's only one scenario in this game, as opposed to other RE games, there's a lot of replayability because depending on what options you take, it actually changes the game. Alright, so big RNG moment. Thank God we got the grenade launcher. So that locker can spawn either the grenade launcher or the Magnum. If you get the Magnum and you're going for a competitive time, reset, because the Magnum route is so much slower. But we got the grenade launcher, so that's good. Last time I ran at ASM, I got the Magnum, so I'm happy to have the grenade launcher this time. Now I got the bad RNG in here, so I have to run around the table to avoid getting bitten. So yeah, a lot of RNG in terms of like enemy placement throughout this game. Different rooms have different enemy patterns that can spawn. So that room there, either all the zombies will spawn over the other side of the room, so you just have no issue, or they can spawn scattered around. So I was very lucky to dodge the zombie on the floor. It's kind of a rare dodge there, but luckily I managed to fluke it. But yeah, just a lot of things that keep the run fresh, which is why I love this run so much. So here there's a lot of just... At this point, we don't really have a goal, but we will meet up with Carlos pretty soon, who will tell us about a tram that they hold up in, and Jill will go and meet up with them. And then we have to go around and find all these items that we need to get the tram running, so that we can escape the city. But at the moment, we're just sort of running aimlessly. And this dodge is pretty tricky sometimes. Oh, got it. So one thing that all the zombies can do in this game is go turbo. Every zombie can do it. And basically it just means they run at you instead of just shambling. Which, when you've practiced dodging each zombie, when one of them just decides to run, it just throws you off completely. That alleyway there is a problem area. If any one of them turbos, you're probably going to get bitten multiple times, because they'll end up crowding around you. But we got pretty lucky. So we just met up with Carlos. Nemesis has shown up. We've decided to hide downstairs. It's started to flood for some reason. I can't remember exactly why, because I never watched that cutscene. Alright, so now Carlos has told us, hey, we're with Umbrella, who, if you're familiar with RE, they're the ones who created the T-Virus. Yeah, we're with Umbrella, but we're here to help. If you trust us, come find us, and we can escape the city. And Jill, still not entirely trusting, but she's got no other option at this point. So, I'm just going to grab a... What do we get from here? Oh yeah, there's a door that's locked by 2 jewels. And we need to get one of the jewels in here. The other one we got in the police station. Hopefully this guy doesn't turbo. Okay, he's behaving. Good boy. Alright, so now that we got the second jewel, we go back to the door. Yeah, a lot of... one of the biggest criticisms about these games is the puzzles make no sense from a logical standpoint. Like, why do you need to collect 2 jewels to unlock a gate to the town hall? Who knows? Doesn't make any sense, but it's a game. The people who made this city were pretty weird people, I guess. Alright, now, got the good RNG here. These ones are pretty easy to dodge. But again, 2 different enemy patterns that can spawn there. And another RNG point. Do we get dogs? Nope. Oh. Oof, that was close. So zombies can spawn there, or dogs. If there's zombies, you shoot the barrels to just blow them up. If there's dogs, you can actually dodge them, which is a little bit faster, but slightly riskier. Because if the dogs don't behave, they'll bite you a couple of times.
Jill, put this on.
Alright, so we've met up with the mercenaries and agreed to help them. So now that we have the wrench, we can actually go back and unlock certain areas of the city that we couldn't actually access before. And we need to do that to get all the items that we need to get the tram up and running. So we need fuel additive. Oh, damn it. Messed up that dodge. We need fuel additive. Oh, this is going all wrong. Oh, no! Wow. Okay, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Got bitten by everybody there. So I'm about to get put into caution here, because we need to hope that these guys all fall over. All but one. That's alright. I'll take it. Alright. Luckily we have a first aid spray. Yeah, one good thing about this run is if you're new to it, there are plenty of healing items scattered throughout the game, so it's pretty easy to finish the run without dying. But obviously you need to cut those items out once you start going for good times. What was I saying before? Oh yeah, the items that we need. We need a fuse, fuel additive, mix those together, and a jumper lead, power cable. And then once we get those up and running, we can head to the clock tower. But yeah, just a lot of backtracking here. So now we're going back to that statue again. And we're going to put in that compass that we just got. Hopefully nobody turbos. Alright, looking pretty good. No, I didn't need the grenade launcher. Alright, so we shoot those guys just once. Sometimes that gets them to just shuffle out of the way for you, but not all the time. And none of them did. Great. But that's okay. Only took one bite. So now that we have the battery that was hidden in a statue of the mayor for some reason. Again, doesn't make any sense, but whatever, it's a game. We're going to use that to access the power station, which we need to get the fuse. Now hopefully these guys behave. They can be a bit trolly sometimes, just like that. Oh, don't you dare. Alright, one little whack, that's fine. Alright, got the bad RNG here for enemies. Hopefully this guy behaves. Ah, oh, damn it. Now that puzzle's pretty easy. Left, right, right, right. So one thing that I'm doing with menu options, you can't really tell from watching it, but whenever you get an option that pops up, if you try to select the first option, so if you're picking up an item, it'll be yes, or if you're inputting a code, it'll be 0. Whatever the first option is, there is a slight delay before you can actually select it. But if you move the cursor left or right, that cancels the delay. So what we can do with the PC version is bind both left and right to one button, which we call the delayed input cancel button. And we'll just hit that quickly before we select. And that cancels out the delay before we select whatever first option there is. I hope I explained that properly. It's really difficult to explain, but hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I think it saves like about 20 seconds in total throughout the entire run. So if you miss one or two options, it's not a huge deal, but it's a good skill to learn like pretty quickly. But it's tough to get the timing right. So pretty much as soon as you see the cursor pop up, that's when you hit it. Alright, so we're heading back to the pharmacy, where we get the oil additive. Now hopefully these guys behave. Okay, good. If that second guy is just sitting on the floor, you have to shoot the barrel to blow him up. Because otherwise he will probably mess you up. Nope, not the wrench. Use that. My menuing is not so great today, unfortunately. Alright, so there's we have to input a code into a computer here to unlock the back room. And it can be 3 different codes. It can be Safsprin, Aquacure, or Adravil. We always go for Safsprin because it is the most likely. And it was Safsprin. Fantastic. So the most likely is Safsprin, second most likely is Adravil, and then nobody likes Aquacure because it is the least likely. Although sometimes I've gotten like Aquacure like 7 runs in a row, which is never a good time. But I think it's like a maybe 10% chance of it being Aquacure. So I got very unlucky with those runs. Alright, hopefully these guys get knocked down. Nope. Oh, excuse me. Oh, no. This is actually not so great, because I forgot to pick up the second first aid spray in that room. And I'm pretty low health, so hopefully I make it to the gas station. There's a first aid spray there. If not, luckily I've got safety saves set up. Alright, don't troll me, please. Thank you. Actually, there's some... Okay, I'm going to grab a couple of herbs here, because it's going to be a bit risky. I'll take 2, just for good measure. Okay, that's better. Like I said, a lot of healing items scattered throughout the game, so... If you're new to the run, don't be afraid to pick them up. Don't worry about, you know, getting the optimal time save. Just worry about surviving and getting to the end of the game. Alright, another one of those options here. Pretty much every option in the game that you get, it's always the first option when you're doing the speedrun, except for the very last one. It's important to remember that because it's a huge time loss if you accidentally choose the second option. Anybody who's familiar, it's giving him stars, which we might do for this marathon because it's such a good cutscene. All right, dodge past this guy, dip into here, grab the crank. Can't think of any RE game that doesn't have a crank in it. I'm sure there might be 1 or 2, but pretty much all of them have either a valve handle or a crank. All right, hopefully I get this dodge. Whoop. Ah, the second guy. He had to ruin it. Alright, so now we're going to the gas station. This puzzle coming up gave me so much trouble when I first played this game, because I just didn't understand how to do it. But luckily there is a way to train yourself to solve it logically. So you can just look at the lights that pop up and you know exactly which button to hit. A well-known runner by the name of Wolf DNC. He did a tutorial that explained it so well that I was able to immediately do the puzzle after that. Before that, I had to use a cheat sheet. I'm going to take this for safety. There we go. First one I messed up on, but the other 2 I got pretty quickly, thankfully. So yeah, basically all you have to do is put out all the lights except for whichever one is lit up. Stars. Alright, here we got Nemesis again, and just run past him. He's pretty easy to dodge in most cases. And now we're going to meet the Gravedigger. Unfortunately, iconic boss of this game that was cut out for the remake, like a lot of stuff. But we won't talk about that. I'm still a bit salty about that remake, as a lot of people are. Thankfully, though, all we have to do is just push 2 buttons and then climb up a ladder. We don't fight him until later. Alright, so we have all the pieces that we need to get the tram up and running, so we're going to head back, put them all in, and then we're good to go. And of course I missed the thing. It's so annoying. Sometimes Jill just doesn't want to put the item in the thing that she's standing right in front of. Just because she's facing at a slightly the wrong angle. Even though it is right in front of her. Her face has to be literally in whatever it is you're trying to use. Alright, Nemesis is back, but we don't fight him. So Mikhail's just blown himself up to take out Nemesis, but he's taking out the brakes at the same time. So what do we do when we're on a tram that is speeding? Do we use the emergency brakes? Or do we do this? Good job, Jill. Chose the right option. Dive headfirst through the window. Not even an open window. Okay, so we're looking for gunpowders in this clock tower. They can spawn in this room or they can spawn later on. We got the late powders, unfortunately, so that is slightly unoptimal. Because if we get the early powders, it means our inventory is full and we get to skip a little cutscene right here. The Carlos gives us some freeze rounds. But because he's offering them, we'll take them. So the gunpowders will spawn in here. Now, we need to make flame rounds here. Oop. Ah, come on. There we go. Actually, I might have to use that first aid spray, because I don't think I've got enough inventory space to do what I need to do. Bad RNG there. So Nemesis can just roar, and it's just a straight 3-second time loss if he does. It's just purely RNG. Alright, so we've got the music box puzzle here. That is a 2 change. So the solution is always up, down, up, but the starting position of the pegs can be different. So you can only have to change 1 peg, or you can have to change all 6. And it's a big time loss for each one that you have to do. But 2 changes, pretty good. The average is about 3, so anything below that is spot on. But yeah, the solution for this puzzle used to be completely random. And you'd have to figure it out by listening to the tone. Because if you get one wrong, then it's a out of key note. But unfortunately, I can't remember if it was like playtesting people or the initial release, but people who were hard of hearing couldn't solve the puzzle, so Capcom decided to change it. So it was just a fixed solution. Now we need to put these together to make the key that we need to access this next room. Another puzzle here, which just got to quickly look. I think that was 7 o'clock. You got to quickly look at the time on the clock on the wall, but because you run past it pretty quickly, so it's hard to. Okay, yeah, it's 6 o'clock. So that's amber, crystal, obsidian. For the life of me, I still don't understand how you're supposed to solve this puzzle logically. Doesn't make any sense to me. But when I first played this game, I was pretty much just, you know, trial and erroring. Trying different combinations until I got one that worked. But yeah, there's 6 different combinations that it can be, depending on what the starting position of the clock is. So now we've got that second part of the cog. We can get the bell ringing on the bell tower. And that will signal the helicopter to come and save us. And nothing will go wrong. But oh no, Nemesis showed up and he blew up the helicopter, so we're stuck here for a bit longer. This fight is pretty easy with the grenade launcher. With the Magnum, it is very risky.
I'm sorry, Jill.
Yeah, you just basically lay into him with the grenades. It doesn't matter how much damage you take, because the next time you take control of Jill, you'll actually be healed up to full health. But for the time being, we're playing as Carlos now. So what happened was Nemesis has infected Jill, and she's out of action. And Carlos has decided, I'm going to go to the hospital and just synthesize a vaccine. Because it's that simple. He took some chemistry in high school, he knows what he's doing. Bad RNG, I hate these guys so much. So there can be spiders or those guys that spawn in that corridor. And yeah, they can be really trolly in a narrow space like that. So usually on the way through they're fine, but on the return trip, they can be a bit of a pain. And here we have the Hunters. One of the iconic enemies of the Resident Evil series. These guys can be nasty, because if you're in Caution, which is below half health, they can just do an attack that will just straight up insta-kill you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So we have to stay in fine as much as we can.
There also appears to be a slight fracture in his right arm just below the elbow. However...
So hopefully we get good RNG here. Zombies will spawn on any of the 3 levels. Hopefully not the top floor. Ah, no. Okay, that's going to make things a little bit tricky. It's not a huge deal, it just means you have to take a bit of extra effort to dodge around them. Oh, come on, pick up the thing. There we go. Alright. Hopefully I remember how to dodge them. There we go. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Alright. No worms, so we check the corpse. 253. So we dip into that room there, and one look will tell you exactly the solution to this puzzle. So basically, if you see worms on the ground... Oh, I think I boxed myself in here. Damn it. If you see worms on the ground, you have a split second to take a look at the position of the cabinet, and depending on which corner it's in, will tell you which corner you need to push it into in this room. If you don't see the worms, you quickly check that corpse and have a look at the code. And that will tell you which corner to push it into, because each code is linked to a different corner of the room. Completely forgot the zombies were there, so I didn't take the line. Alright, please don't troll me. Alright, good. Yeah, so each corner of the room is linked to a different code, so depending on where the cabinet is, will be which code you get. I don't think I explained that very well, but you know, I'm doing the best I can. It makes sense to me. That's all that matters. All right, so we get the second part of the vaccine here. Yeah, unlike most of the puzzles in this game, this one is a fixed solution every time. Valve 1, Valve 3, and then Valve A. Right, now that we've got the second part of the vaccine, we're going to head back to Jill and rescue her. I'm going to bait out this guy to get moving and then blow him up. Hopefully not get trolled on the way out. Ooh, he went for it, but he didn't get it. And a little warning that Nemesis might be about again. And, oh, don't you do it. Oof, okay, that was lucky. And Nemi's back, and he's taken his shirt off, so he means business now. Alright, there we go. Vaccine done. Jill saved. And we swap out the ammo tool for the knife now, which we'll need for the final boss. And only the final boss. Sorry, no, the second last boss. And I got late powders, so I don't need to pick up the mine thrower there. But I do need to pick up some extra grenade rounds in this room. Grab the key here to get into the park, which has a bit of RNG. Hopefully hunters don't show up because I hate hunters. I hate hunters in this place so very, very much. Oh, come on. Dude, go. Ah, he didn't do it. No. Alright, please, no hunters. Ah! Okay. Alright, this is fine. It's fine. Oof. That's why I hate those guys. Yeah, so hunters can spawn there, or dogs. If you get dogs... Oh, I'm just running into everybody today. This is not going well. If you get dogs, you can just run past them pretty easy. But hunters, again, they're a problem. Alright, doing that puzzle is really nerve-wracking. Because if you get it wrong, it's like a 30-second time loss, because you have to sit through a huge cutscene, and then have to do it again. So coming up is the worm that we saw earlier, the Gravedigger. But this time we're not going to run away. We're going to actually kill him. But first, I'm definitely going to grab a first aid spray because I'm low on health. Yeah, so the worm, pretty simple with the grenade launcher. Ideally, you want to kill him in one cycle, but that is very difficult to do, and there is a bit of RNG involved as well. I would love to be able to do it for everybody, but I've only ever been able to do it once in an actual run of mine. And then I lost the run to the second last boss, so it didn't feel good. Alright, gonna grab that first aid spray because I don't trust myself not to do this damageless. Alright, here we go. Nah, couldn't get it. So now we need to bait out a few attacks from him. Oh no, he's trolling me. I'm gonna heal up. Oh, you got the 5 rise, okay. Yeah, so he can rise up from anywhere between 3 to 5 times. I got the bad RNG there. But he's dead now, so it's all good. Yeah, so ideally you want to get 1 suckle because that's a huge time save if you get that. But yeah, it depends on what movement pattern he does and also whether or not you can get quick shots. You need to hit every single quick shot in order to do it. Which I don't think I explained quick shots. Basically, all the early RE games have this thing called quick shooting, where if you fire and you hold down action, which is the fire button, but then let go of aim and then hit it again at just the right frame, you'll immediately shoot again, which basically lets you shoot like twice as fast as normal. On the PC, it's pretty simple because you can just spam the aim button and you'll usually hit the right frame. On a controller, it's a lot different because you sort of have to just have a good rhythm. Okay, they didn't troll me too badly this time. But yeah, to get that 1 cycle Gravedigger, you have to hit every single quick shot. And also get good RNG with his movement. So, he's an enemy again. We're just going to push him off the bridge. And now we're on the final area of the game, the Dead Factory. I'm going to grab as many first aid sprays as I can because I'm not doing too well today, unfortunately. Okay, so this puzzle here, you're supposed to flick all the switches in just the right order to turn off all the steam. But as you saw there, you can actually just run a little bit into that steam bit and hit the switch because the hitbox is sort of sticks out a bit. So a little bit of a handy skip there. So go out of this room to reset the zombie position. So I can just run straight for this elevator. Alright, there's a bit here where hunters can spawn, and please not be hunters. Please don't be hunters. Okay, good, we got worms. Whew. So the hunters in this room are the worst ones in the whole game because they can very easily just stun lock you to death. So as you're trying to climb up onto that little ledge, they'll just keep on swiping you one at a time. And then you can't do anything. It's just rip, chili dip. Alright, this puzzle is the only one that I still need a cheat sheet for. Medium, low. That is right 1, right 3, left 4. Don't tell anyone I cheated. Yeah, so you solve that one. There's 4 different solutions. Depending on the starting position of the first 2 blips, you can tell what the solution is from that. Alright, so now that we've got that done, we head back upstairs for the one of the most notorious bosses in this game. Actually, probably the most notorious. I always say it's not a run until you finish Acid Nemi, because basically the strat you use involves the knife, but you have to have perfect positioning and timing. Otherwise, it's just... it can go so badly so quickly. I highly recommend watching the race between Borkba Soup and Wusscake from GDQ a couple of years ago. Yeah, that'll show you exactly what can go wrong with this fight. Because Wusscake just got really bad luck and died. So basically, there's all these acid valves around the side of the room that we have to lure Nemesis into and hit the valves at just the right time to splash acid onto him 3 times in order to kill him. But again, the timing is really, really precise, and I have to listen out for exact sound cues for the first 2, and then kind of hope for the best on the 3rd one. It depends on how he's moving on the 3rd one. You got to sort of improvise and react quickly. Okay, so hopefully I don't mess this up. There's one. Oh, thought he wasn't get it. Thought it wasn't going to work there. Oh, come on, come on. Yes. No. Alright, alright, this is fine, this is fine. So now just got to play it by ear and hope for the best. Come on, come on, come on. Get him. Okay. That didn't go as badly as it could have. I'll take it. Bit of a time loss, but I didn't die. Yeah, so the first cue is his second footstep. The second cue is when he says stars. And then the third one, again, you gotta sort of pay attention to how he's moving. Usually it's on his second step, but sometimes it can be a little bit different. Alright, so we're nearly at the end of the run, thankfully. Didn't get the good line. So these guys, we just sort of... oh no, they're blocking me! Okay. They didn't block me. All good. So one thing I didn't explain as well, so any enemies, any zombies that are on a slope or on a different level to you, you can run past them pretty easily because they can't actually grab you unless you run directly into them. But if you just run past them, they'll try to vomit on you instead of try to grab you. But only if they're on a slope or a different level to you. So those guys are usually pretty easy to run past, but sometimes that first guy can just block you. There's a very famous moment with a guy named Super Gamer, who he was on a world record pace, and he was very, very excited, and he got blocked by those guys and just lost the entire run. It was very heartbreaking to watch. So whenever that happens, it's called getting super gamered. So now we have the final nemesis. Pretty easy, pretty simple. All we have to do is just use this massive rail cannon to kill him. But to get it in one cycle, we have to deal enough damage to him first. And we have pretty much just enough ammo to do that. First we've got to push these things in to give the rail cannon power. we're going to wait for him to jump down. There we go. 3 shots with the acid rounds. Now, the freeze rounds. Alright, I think that should do it. Hopefully. Alright, so that first one never actually hits him, it just blows a hole in the rubble. And this second one should kill him. Oof, ouch. That hurt. Please kill him. There we go, and we got him. So we're going to have an option popping up soon. As I said earlier, this is the only option that you have to select the second one. Otherwise, it's a huge time loss. But we're going to pick the first one anyway, because I love the cutscene. It's so good to watch. It's very satisfying. He's dead, or is he? Yeah, we're going to give him stars. Option number 1.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
There we go. Alright, so time's coming up pretty soon. Just got to go down this elevator. And Carlos is waiting for us with a helicopter. And time is coming up right now. Alright, that's it.
And now we have a rather unfortunate turn of events. It seems that the President and the Federal Council...
yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who has donated as well. Yeah, Cure Cancer. Pretty personal thing to me personally. I am actually a cancer survivor myself. I got very, very lucky in my... I was around 14. Yeah, I got pretty lucky, but unfortunately a lot of people don't. So any donation towards cancer research and treatment is... I very, 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 very much appreciate it. So thank you everybody who donated. Thank you again, ASM, for letting me come along and do this run. It's always a pleasure.